What's up? What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the Performance Lens. Now, this is a podcast that's just starting out, and I want to give you kind of what to expect from this podcast. Number one, we are going over all things health and wellness so that you can boost your performance. So we're going over brain health things, we're going over mindset things, we're going over actual health things, working out, moving your body, rehab things, etc. So we're doing a lot of the things to basically minimize the distractions and minimize the liabilities that you have that are holding you back. Right? And we're taking a deep dive into that. My name is Jarrett Phelps. I am a kinesiologist and a health coach, and I help people improve their health. And I know improving your health can be a difficult journey, especially if you don't have people around you or a community around you or a place where you go or things that you listen to that help you out with it. Because most of the things in this world that we currently experience is the exact opposite of the health that we need, right? The food that we eat that's traditionally eaten, especially in America, right, is traditionally things that are not healthy for you. So you have to be one of those weirdos and go against the grain when it comes to health. So this podcast is a resource for you to just really start questioning things, right? And start being able to ask better questions on what you should and shouldn't be putting into your body and how you can get more performance out of this body, right? There would be no point in you saying, hey, you know what, I need to, if you don't have a goal of performance, right, then there's no need for you to watch this podcast, because I'm going to start to say things that make you uncomfortable, right? And wherever there is discomfort, there is growth, right? So those things that are going to be uncomfortable, probably the things that are the most uncomfortable, are going to give you the best return. So in this podcast, I'm going to be giving you things that would make you slightly uncomfortable. However, on the other side of that discomfort is going to be freedom, right? You can't just get your freedom from all of these all these things that ail you, without putting in some work, without learning something new, without implementing things, without experimenting things, right? So this is a place for you to just be able to gather some knowledge, and I hope to interview some of you guys that are watching and listening that are health experts. I would love to just be able to give health information to people, right? Because we have a severe lack in health information and actual things that we know and that we actually adopt, right? It's one thing to know things, it's another thing to actually do them, right? If you try and you lie, and that's what I always say, right? Usually when people say, oh, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, it means that they're not doing it yet. In this podcast, we are going to be going over different ways for you to start making improvements today, right? And that brings me to the first topic that we'll talk about, and is that health needs to be your priority, right? So the reason why you see people that are what people would consider extremely healthy, right, or have any sort of extraordinary goals, right, it's really because they have the energy and the vitality inside of their body, right? Their health is on point. When your health sucks and when your health is a liability to you, it hinders every aspect of your life. But conversely, if your health is great, right? If you have really good health, right? Now everything else thrives in your life because of that. You have more energy, right? You have more bandwidth, right? You're able to tolerate a lot more things. You're able to get more work done, right? You're able to regulate your mood, right? That you want to have a good mood, right? And you're able to actually do that. A lot of times when your health is in the dumps, you really, number one, right, you're agitated and you're annoyed. So that's not great to start off with, because you tend to start off each day agitated and annoyed, right? This is one of the worst ways to start the day off, because if you start the day off like that, chances are it's only going to get worse throughout the day, because throughout the day, different scenarios and situations are thrown your way, and it feels like it's all unfair, but it happens to everybody. It's just the lens that you're looking at, hence the performance lens. We want to put on the performance performance lens like glasses, put on your performance lenses and start looking out at everything, right? When you have a filter of health, right? Let's just say you have on glasses and you put them on and it only allows you to see healthy things, so you can only make healthy decisions and make decisions that are going to be more for the long term and not just the short term. What people tend to do a lot of times in the beginning when trying to get their health better, what we tend to do is over sensationalize everything and not try anything, right? For example, people will say, oh, I'm trying this new health thing, and they start thinking of like 10 reasons why it won't work. Well, really, to be honest, you only need one reason why it won't work, and just one reason will do. Yeah, I don't know why you're naming 10, right? Like, if you really think it won't work, you only need one reason, right? Conversely, again, if you really think it's gonna work, you only need one reason why it's gonna work. Sure, you could make more reasons why it will work, but that's not gonna be necessary. You need to find that one reason why this would work for you, and then you pursue that. However, if you don't think it'll work for you, then you're also right. There's something inside of your brain that always makes you right. So if you go into something knowing that you're making an excuse or going to make an excuse as to why it won't work, and you haven't actually ran the experiment, right? Then we have to say, hey, you know what? You have to change your mindset. You have to change the filter in which you're looking through, right? You have to change the filter in which you're looking through. Right now, if you need help with your health, right? If your health is not where you want it to be, and it doesn't mean that you have to be sick, right? In order to be at your optimal levels, right? You're going to have everything on point. So even wavering just a little bit is really going to cost you performance, right? So you really want to pay attention to all the things that are going on inside of your body, right? So making health a priority looks like getting the proper amount of sleep, having a time where you're waking up or having a specific time when you wake up and a specific time when you go to sleep, because your energy is going to be vitally important. If you have no energy, you're not going to be able to do any of the things that you think you can get done in a day. Meaning, if you don't have enough sleep and you don't have the right foods in your body, it's impossible for you to have the energy levels that you need, no matter how many productivity tips and tricks and hacks you do, right? Eventually, it's not gonna work, if it even works for the first time, right? If you slack on your sleep and you eat whatever you want, right? Not that you can't eat whatever you want. If you don't eat the things that are good for you and towards your goals, really, right? You pick, what are your goals? Okay, if you want to be lean and you want to have clear thoughts, right? Then you're going to need to eat mostly things that would make you lean and things that would give you clear thoughts, not eating a lot of things that are going to pack on extra pounds and make you have brain fog, right? So if you have the health glasses on, right, you're not looking at the sodas, the chips, the candies, the overly processed snacks, right? You're looking at the fruits, the vegetables, the superfoods, the herbs, right? You're looking at those things. What are the natural things that you could do? What are the things that your body is going to react well to? What are the things that are going to give you vitality inside of your body? Those are the things that you would be looking for, and those are the things that you would be looking to adopt when you are looking at things from a health first, health is my priority lens, right? Until you switch your view to that kind of lens, until you do that, you will never, ever, 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 ever be able to fully change your current health situation. There's a lot of people that don't make this health is a priority switch for the rest of their life, and they tend to do this wavering up and down and up and down and up and down. And when you're constantly going up and down, you realize that what's the point in putting in all that work if your health is just gonna be in the dumps, right? So then you get tired of that, and eventually you just give up overall. And this is where most people are, in an apathetic situation, right? You just decide like, hey, you know what? This is so difficult. I'm just gonna give up everything, right? And that's why I wanted to make this podcast, because I wanted to give you different ways, tips, tricks, tools that you can use, that you can implement into your own health situation. I want to empower people to be able to make healthy decisions for themselves. Stop auditing all of your health to someone else in some other system, right? You need to know about your health. It is very important for you to know about your health, because when you go to the doctor and they give you a set of pills, right, you are going based off of their knowledge, right? You're saying, hey, I trust you with my life, right? But a lot of times you don't. You don't actually trust them with your life, right? And that's because they don't have the same priorities as you, right? Same thing goes for when you go to like a physical therapist, when you have a health coach, right? When you have a personal trainer, right? You are trusting these people with your life, right? And what I want to do on this podcast is get you to start taking that seriously, right? It's not that you don't trust a doctor. It's not that you don't trust a health coach. It's that you are the number one person that all of the changes they would possibly be making affects. Right? So you have to know about your body. You can't just trust somebody else to know everything about you. They'd have to make a lot of assumptions, right? But what happens if you knew more about your actual body? Think about the level of care that you could get. I know a lot about my body right now. So even if, like, let's just say I did get sick, right? I know so much about my body at the moment, right, that if I wanted really good care from a really good doctor, I know, like, hey, you know what, this is my pulse in the morning. This is my morning routine. These are the things that I normally eat, right? These are the environments that I was in. This is the way in which I cleanse my system, right? Then we can go back and see, are those things harming me, or was it just me in a certain situation that I was overstimulated, overstressed, and my immune system was compromised, right? When you can have a conversation with a doctor or a healthcare practitioner like that, you can get the most amazing care, because now you have a filter in which to look through, right? You know a lot of things about yourself, right? So you can get specific help. Normally, if you just have some sort of sickness, right, and it could be due to lifestyle, but you would just get some sort of medicine, right? And the medicine could help, it could not help, but what happens when that comes back, right? If it comes back again, right? What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna run to the same person and get the same medicine, right? Or are you going to figure out what's the root cause of this? Why is this happening? What are the different things that are happening in my space, in my environment, in my life that are causing this to happen? Or is it just a fluke accident? But if it's happening more than one time, it's probably not a fluke accident, right? But when you know about yourself, and that's why I'm making this podcast, right? And really getting you to see life through a lens in which health is the priority, right? If you know a lot about yourself, the amount of help and care that you would need to get, that you can get, and that you would have access to is immense. So many people are like, oh, I need good help. I need good help. Look, a doctor, a health coach, a personal trainer, they don't know everything about every single person's situation, but they have a particular set of skills and knowledge, right, that could help a person if they know a lot about them. Right? So if a doctor asks you a bunch of questions you don't know the answer to, this is a recipe for disaster. But what happens when you can answer all of the doctor's questions and then give them additional information, right, as to how your situation is and how they could help you? Imagine you having the information and being able to ask the questions, right? It's not you knowing everything, because you don't have to know everything. You have to just be able to ask good questions. If you can ask good questions, then you can get good answers, right? And we tend to just take everything as face value, right? Somebody tells you something that you think is an expert, and you just say, hey, you know what? This is life, this is law, I heard it in a podcast. Like, this is definitely what it is, right? And a lot of the stuff you hear could be true, and a lot of stuff you could hear could be false, but you need to figure out what works for you and your body, because I've been studying this stuff for about 8 years, and every single day I'm studying this stuff, there's conflicting studies that this works, and then that same thing that they were just talking about doesn't work at all in this double-blind placebo-tested group, and then this worked for this group, and then this thing didn't work for this group, and then it was statistically significant and all that stuff. And those things are important. However, you need to figure out what does that have to do with your life, right? What does that have to do with your life? Is it a result that you want? Are you just randomly studying and looking at studies and haven't actually ran any experiments yourself? What are the is the information that you're getting even from a reputable source, right? Somebody that has their own health lens, because when you read things on health, right? When I'm telling you things about health, this is coming from my own personal health lens, right? So because it's coming from my personal point of view, it might not be the same exact point of view that you have or that you need, right? So you need to be able to take in information and be able to process information and see what's valuable for you and see what's not valuable for you. So in this podcast, I definitely want people to take things with a grain of salt, take things with nuance, and really look at it and see, does that apply to your life? Right? And if so, how does it apply to your life? When you're able to look at things from that perspective, when you're able to look at things from that lens, it makes everything much, much easier. And you can easily tell when you're getting off track with your health, and then you can easily tell when you're on track with your health. And that is all I got for today. That is it for episode number 1. If you want to check out any of the other things that we have going on, like some coaching, or just check out the rest of our YouTube channel and different things that we have and programs that we have going on, just so you can dive deeper into your health. Definitely check out all the links down below, and definitely like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, and reach out to us. We love talking to people about their health, and I'd love suggestions on things to cover in this podcast. So that is it. That is all I got for you guys today. And yeah, that's it. Peace.